And hello once again, audience. This is your host, Harrison MacArthur, Draco Pendragon, and the world-renowned historian, coming to you live from the center of the Milky Way galaxy.
You know, outside right now is like a blazing hellscape, and I was like, my room is so like dark and cold right now. I'm so comfortable at the moment. I'm like, movies are meant to be watched in the dark anyway. Got some nice mood lighting behind us. We're sitting pretty. Life is good.
Yeah, so today we will be reacting to Caesar and Cleopatra from 1945, starring Claude Rains and Vivian. Leigh, I assume that's how you pronounce her last name?
I've always said Leigh, though I have to admit I've never heard it spoken. You could be correct. I know her mostly from Gone with the Wind, and Claude Rains I'd say I know mostly from Casablanca. But yeah, I'm super excited about this because, as you know, I know absolutely nothing about Roman history.
Oh, nothing at all. You're a pig ignorant idiot.
So I can't wait. And also, I'd say most people are probably a lot more familiar with the Elizabeth Taylor version.
And the Rex Harrison one.
Exactly, yeah. I didn't even know this version existed, so it'll be an interesting comparison because I have seen that one. Nice Sphinx to start us off.
Mm-hmm. Gabriel Pascal presents.
Yeah, we're perfect. Should turn down the audio just a
Yeah. I think I said this during our FIFA Baghdad review, but there's something about these old movies that modern movies just can't grasp anymore. They have this feel.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I can't like put a name to it.
Mm-hmm.
The swelling music.
Yeah, all the bright colors, all the.
Right.
I don't want to say happy-go-lucky nature of it because everything like that now is just dark and
ends in like death and tragedy.
Yeah.
Persian thy gods are good to thee.
Playing a little dice. They did love their dice.
No more.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the vein.
Now, I believe that this production was actually based off a stage play
by George Bernard Shaw, 1901, I think.
A stranger approaches. Stand! Who goes there? The bearer of evil tidings. Pass him in.
It was a big hit in England, kind of flopped in the States, but huge hit in Britain. Cool set.
Mm-hmm.
Who art thou that laughest in the house of Cleopatra the queen, and in the teeth of Belzano, the captain of our guard? I am Belafris, descended from the gods. Hail, cousin.
Hail, cousin. All the queen's guards are descended from the gods, save myself. I am a Persian, descended from many a king.
Hail, cousins. Hail, mortal. You have been in battle, Belafris.
Hail, mortal.
You are a soldier.
Hail, mortal. You know, I've actually seen the actor who plays the Persian in another thing. He played
I have no tidings.
what is it? He played the Sheriff of Nottingham in 1950s television series of Robin Hood.
Nice. That'd be a fun watch through.
Mm. Yeah, it is a fun watch through. My siblings and I love it, although they changed the actress who plays Miriam at least 3 times.
Nice.
We went to Alexandria to
Bewitched
inquire of
style.
King Ptolemy how we of Egypt should deal with the Roman Pompey, newly come to our shores after his defeat by Caesar at Pharsalia.
Caesar defeated Pompey.
Does Roman then fight Roman?
Even as Egyptian fights Egyptian. What did you learn from the queen's brother Ptolemy, the pretender?
We learnt that Caesar is coming also in hot pursuit of his foe, and that Ptolemy has slain Pompey. Nay, more, we found that Caesar is already come, for we had not made half a day's journey on our way back when we came upon a city rabble flying from his legions.
And ye, the temple guard, did you not withstand these legions?
What men could, that we did. But this Caesar throws a legion at you where you are weakest, as he throws a stone from a catapult. And that legion is as a man with 1 head, 1,000 arms, and no religion. I have fought against them, and I know.
Were you frightened, cousin?
No, cousin, but I was beaten.
Could you not die?
There was no time. All was over in a moment. But now I am come to warn you that you must open your gates to Caesar, for his advance guard is scarce an hour behind me, and there is not an Egyptian warrior left standing between you and his legion.
Lead into the door, quick!
That is a horrible shot.
I know.
You will run through the palace like fire through stubble.
I like that dude.
Save the women from the Romans. Why not kill them?
Because we should have to pay blood money. Better let the Romans kill them. It's cheaper.
Oh, subtle one, oh serpent. But your queen. True. We must carry off Cleopatra. I will take her on the crupper of my horse.
What's about the law? The sacred white cat has been stolen!
The sacred white cat is being stolen.
Terrible.
Never trust the people who worship cats. Cats are the spawn of the devil. I should know. I'm allergic to them.
Oh, we're all wrong sometimes, sir. It's all right.
I take it you're a cat person?
Indeed so. Lifelong.
Long live dogs. I say to that.
I don't hate dogs. Certain kinds of dogs.
The little hairless, ratty things that...
You know, people are so into pit bulls, and it's not that I'm, like, scared of them. I just think they're hideous. I just think they're so ugly. Like, when you get, like, a golden retriever or something.
I wouldn't call them ugly. That's an Irish wolfhound, speaking of dogs right there.
Oh.
That's a bit... I've seen a... You know, Claude Rains was not a big guy, actually. I think he was only, like, 5 foot nothing.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. And, I saw an Irish wolfhound once in real life, and those things are massive. Like, they were bred to hunt wild boars, and wild boars are not small by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
Yeah. What was I going with this? Can't remember.
It's a good-looking production for being on a British soundstage.
Yeah, 1945. Although I guess the Blitz would have been over by now.
Right.
When did the Blitz officially end, anyway? Question.
Salutation from Julius.
Oh, it would have well before 45, I think.
I have wandered in many lands.
44, 43?
Seeking the lost region from which my birth
I would say probably before 44.
in the company of creatures such as I myself.
I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but...
I found flocks and pastures, men and cities, but no other Caesar. No air native to me, no man kindred to me. None who can do my day's deed or think my night's thought. In the little world yonder, Sphinx, my place is as high as yours in this great desert. Only I wander, and you sit still. I conquer, and you endure. I work and wonder. You watch and wait. Sphinx, you and I, strangers to the race of men, are no strangers to one another. Have I not been conscious of you and of this place since I was born? Rome is a madman's dream. This reality. My way hither was the way of destiny. Part brute, part woman, and part God. Nothing of man.
Keep expecting him to say this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Have I ever seen a Sphinx?
Wasn't that Humphrey Bogart's line?
You're correct.
Powerful
Yeah.
gods.
Yeah. So maybe the Sphinx would say it to him.
Old gentlemen, don't run away. This to Julius Caesar.
Oh, gentlemen.
Oh, God.
Sphinx, you presume on your centuries. I'm younger than you. Your voice is but a girl's voice as yet.
Climb up here, quickly, or the Romans will come and eat you.
Child at its breast. A divine child.
Come up, quickly.
I think this is exactly how this happened. Cleopatra was hanging out in some flowers on the Sphinx.
I think those are poppies.
Cleopatra.
They did some opium in the shadow of the Sphinx.
You mustn't be disrespectful to me.
Queen of the Gypsies, he called her. I don't think gypsies were a thing at this point, were they?
Quite cozy.
No, I don't think so. I mean, Romania was Dacia at the time, so...
What a magnificent dream. Only let
Which
me not wait.
Caesar did want to conquer, in point of fact. Just didn't get the chance to because they assassinated him.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, sit down.
He also, he tried to conquer Britain, didn't he? But the Brits kicked him out, if I remember correctly.
She's very powerful.
Oh,
It wasn't until 100 years later that,
Notice our Milwaukee
that Rome came back.
Yeah, no, that's accurate. It was Emperor Claudius that actually finally got the footholds.
Yes, the sacred white cat. Isn't it dreadful? I brought him here to sacrifice him to the Sphinx. But when we got a little way from the city, a black cat called him, and he jumped out of my arms and ran away to it. Do you think that the black cat can have been my great-great-great-grandmother?
I don't even want to think about that, and yet I'm intrigued at the same time.
Nothing would surprise me on this night of nights.
I think it must have been. My great-great-grandmother's great-grandmother was a black kitten of the sacred white cat. And my blood is made with Nile water. That is why my hair is so wavy.
What are you doing here this time of night? Do you live here?
Of course not. I am the queen. And I shall live in the palace of Alexandria
I want to hear the conversation between Vivian and the director. She's like, okay, so I'm an Egyptian queen. I should talk like Alice in Wonderland? Is that... I should affect this hoity-toity British...
Meanwhile, why are you not at home and in bed?
Because the Romans are coming to eat us all. You aren't at home in bed either.
Oh, yes, I am. I live in a tent, and I am now in that tent, fast asleep and dreaming. You suppose I believe you are real, you impossible little dream witch?
What a line.
Gentlemen, I like you.
That spoils the dream. Why don't you dream that I'm young?
I wish you were. Only I think I should be more afraid of you. I like men.
Have you ever had one of those like lucid dreams? Like you know you're dreaming, then you realize, oh, I can do anything I want.
Rather wrinkly.
Yeah, and like increasingly more as I get older, weirdly enough. Like not as much as when I was a kid. Like I'd have expected it to be flipped, but yeah, the short answer is yes. Like none memorable enough to share, but yeah.
This isn't the great.
I've only had one lucid dream in my life, and I lost control of it very shortly afterwards. Like I started flying, and all of a sudden I woke up.
Oh. Don't you wish you could just like go back to sleep and like restart the same dream sometimes?
I know. Yeah.
I want to get back to killing zombies, you know?
They are barbarians.
Killing zombies.
Or whatever, you know, whatever it is you're doing.
His father was a tiger and his mother a burning mountain, and his nose is like an elephant's trunk. All have long noses and ivory tusks,
What?
little tails, and 7 arms with 100 arrows in each. And they live on human flesh.
That's what you think the Romans are like.
Right.
You're frightening me.
No matter. This is only a...
So, I will say one thing that I think they're kind of nailing here is that the sources definitely indicate that Cleopatra was this sort of like very precocious, very like charming, intelligent individual, and she's kind of like beguiling more than like physically attractive. Like Caesar was really like taken with her personality. Like I feel that's pretty accurately depicted.
Mhm.
White in the moonlight.
Are you sure it is the moonlight that makes me look whiter than an Egyptian? You notice that I have a rather long nose. It is a Roman nose, Cleopatra.
Slice him in two. I meant to sacrifice the white cat. Indeed, I did. Indeed.
Cleopatra, shall I show you a way to prevent Caesar from eating you?
Do. I will steal the crown jewels and give them to you. I will make the river Nile water your lands twice a year.
My child, your gods are afraid of the Romans. You see, the Sphinx dare not bite me, nor prevent me carrying you off to Julius Caesar.
That and it's a dead hunk of rock.
Right.
Caesar never eats women, but he eats girls and cats. Now you're a silly little girl, and you're descended from the black kitten. You're both a girl and a cat.
And will he eat me?
Yes. Unless you make him believe that you're a woman.
Oh. Then you must get a sorcerer.
How old was Cleopatra when she met Caesar for the first time? I know he was 52,
But it'll take a long
or somewhere around there.
She was definitely a teenager.
Like early 20s, late teens.
I believe that's about correct. Yeah. It's doesn't play so well today, but
Feel no fear. Your hand shakes. If your voice quavers, then night and death. But if he thinks you worthy to rule, he will set you on the throne by his side.
yeah, because I want to say she was only early 30s when she committed suicide. So, and that was
She had
a full generation later. So,
Then I,
she had a bunch of kids with. She had one son with Caesar and
correct.
was it 4 or 5 with Mark Antony.
I'm not sure if it's that many. It was multiple. I'm not sure of the exact number, but
Let's run away. Come.
you are safe with me until you stand on your throne to receive Caesar. Lead me to your palace in the desert.
Antony, of course, wanted to legitimize those children, which probably led to his demise.
Caesar's legion.
And let us look for the white cat as we go. It is he who has turned her into a Roman.
I feel so sorry for that actor right there, the black guy. This was 1945, and well, let's just say that some depictions in this movie will not be up to snuff for today. But it was over 75 years ago.
Yeah. On the dot, I think. He was getting work. He probably wasn't that upset about it.
That is a very polished floor.
That's
like, seriously, I can see the reflection. Do you think that's actually real rock or a real stone floor? Or?
Do you think they like added in the sounds of a stone floor afterward? Maybe. That's a good question.
I don't think they could do that. I mean,
You're the queen. Go on.
Light all the lamps.
I'm not sure if they.
That technology existed yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Who is this you have with you? How dare you order the lamps to be lighted without my permission?
Who is she?
Tita.
Chief
I
nurse.
speak to the queen. Be silent. Is this how your servants know their place? Send her away. Do as the queen has bidden. You are the queen. Send her away.
Tita, dear. You must go away. Just for a little.
You're not commanding her to go, you're begging her. You're no queen, you'll be eaten. Farewell.
No! Don't leave me.
Roman does not stay with queens who are afraid of their slaves.
I am not afraid. Indeed, I am not afraid.
We shall see who is afraid here. Cleopatra.
On your knees, woman. Am I also a child that you dare trifle with me? Slave? Can you cut off a head?
Escalated quickly.
He looks like he's been wanting to do that for years.
Yeah. Thought you'd never ask.
Oh, queen, forget not thy servant in the days of thy greatness. Go. Be gone. Go away.
Give me something to beat her with.
So
Oh dear.
you
Run!
do you?
Must be somebody.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Apologies for this following scene.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh. Oh goodness gracious.
A real queen. Cleopatra. The queen. Oh, I love you.
It's like her
So
big.
she,
But queens love only kings.
It's like her big coming of age moment is.
I will have
I
many
beat this defenseless black guy.
yeah.
Okay.
Put them to death. But you will always be my king. My nice, kind, wise, good old king.
My wrinkle. You will be the most dangerous of all Caesar's conquests.
Caesar. I forgot Caesar. You will tell him that I'm a queen, won't you? A real queen.
Is she wearing a wig? I honestly can't tell.
I think it's a wig.
Caesar is gone.
If you fear Caesar, you are
Hard to say, but I'd say so.
And though you were to hide beneath a pyramid, he would go straight to it and lift it with one hand, and then, be afraid if you dare.
He hasn't told her yet that he's Caesar.
Mm-mm.
Caesar approaches the palace of Cleopatra. Come, take your place. Oh there, Tita Tota. How'd you call your slaves?
Clap your hands.
Tota Tita, bring the queen's robes and her crown and her women, and prepare her
Yes, the crown for Tita. I shall wear the crown.
For whom must the queen put on her state?
for a citizen of Rome, a king of kings.
How dare you ask questions? Go and do as you are told.
Tita, you must be somebody.
You will be the most dangerous of all Caesar's conquests.
Caesar. I forgot Caesar. You will tell him that I'm a queen, won't you? A real queen.
Nice.
Of all the Queen's women, these two alone are left. The rest have fled.
Sure enough. Or Caesar generally has to dress himself.
The Queen of Egypt is not a Roman barbarian. Be brave, my nursling. Hold up your head before this stranger.
Queen of Egypt, descended from
No,
General Ptolemy of Alexander the Great's army.
Yeah.
You must tell Caesar that I am the Queen.
You will not ask me. He will know Cleopatra by her pride.
Although I have heard somewhere that there is some suggestion that Cleopatra was actually mixed race. She had some Nubian in her or something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I have not read that.
Is it so?
I know
Possibly.
they were super into incest, but something kind
Yeah.
of snuck in there.
Cast out fear, and you will conquer Caesar.
I think it would have been like she would have been like the 5th generation of the Ptolemaic dynasty.
I think it would have to be more than that. We're talking about like 300 years, right?
Yeah.
The Queen must face Caesar alone. Answer, so be it.
So be it.
Good.
I mean, there were 7 Cleopatras alone.
One of whom was the mother of Alexander the
I've
Great.
said so be it, and if you die for it,
Really?
you must make the Queen.
Yeah, I think her name was Cleopatra.
Oh, interesting.
Now, if you
I know we have found his father's tomb.
Really?
We do have his father's corpse.
It's like,
Oh!
I swear I was going to tell you.
Yeah. Surprise!
What have they got on their heads? Those aren't those very strange-looking Roman helmets.
Right.
And every Roman soldier's got that red horsehair crest,
Of course.
which is only for officers, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, they're not laying out that kind of expense for like the grunts.
Only Greek hoplites got that, and not even then.
Well, mostly if you could pay for it yourself.
I do believe the Romans are wearing lorica segmentata, which wouldn't be a thing for another 100 years, right?
Yeah, I believe that's true.
They'd be wearing another lorica, some other Latin word whose name I cannot pronounce. That's a very good set.
Seriously, like it's a top-notch production. Yeah, I'm not too up on like the military side, but all that stuff tends to just get smeared out. Like modern people just see like almost 1,000 years of history and like change and just like, oh, it's all ancient Rome, whatever.
attention. We wait here.
That has got to be a matte painting behind the arch.
Look at the people; they're not even moving.
Remember that. Alexandria, the capital of Egypt.
Now they're moving,
You've got to behave yourself
Are they?
here.
and one guy just itched his nose.
Okay.
But you may fraternize with the women. Silence! Silence, I tell you! That is Rufio. Attention! Half turn left. Centurion, sir, see that building? That's the Royal Palace. Caesar's in there. I'm going now to join him. Keep a platoon of picked men within call.
Who did Rufio side with when it was Anthony versus Octavius?
Peasants brought up to
Uh,
spare crows, sons of smiths.
Is Rufio historically attested? I'm not even sure.
I think he is a real person.
Okay.
Good to their poor relation.
Oh, subtle one, oh serpent.
That being the case,
Let
I'm
us
not
win
sure.
it And take sides with the winner.
Ptolemy, Cleopatra.
Cleopatra or Ptolemy?
The king of Egypt has a word to speak. Peace for the king's
I think they were
word.
married when they had their little civil war too.
Take notice
They-
of this all
they,
of
of
you.
course they were.
I am
Yeah.
the firstborn son of Oletes, the flute blower who was your king. My sister Berenice drove him from his throne and reigned in his stead. But,
The gods would not suffer.
yes, the gods would not suffer. God, I forget what
I
the
feel
gods
sorry
would
for this
not
poor
suffer.
kid.
I know.
The king wished to say the gods would not suffer the impiety of his sister to go unpunished.
Yes, I remember the rest of it. Therefore the gods sent a stranger.
How old was Ptolemy when this whole debacle happened?
He was a literal child, so
Like, are we talking like 8, 12?
probably in that range. Yeah.
It's always dangerous when you have little kids have power.
Yeah. That's. Had to think there was probably some kind of regency involved,
Will not
but
maintain.
Oh yes.
Otherwise, they'd just be chopping off heads left, right, and center for every little offense. I know if I had power back in those days, my math teachers would definitely be crucified. Christ.
it's like the Timmy episode of the Twilight Zone where he's always sending them out into the cornfield.
I never actually watched the Twilight Zone.
Okay.
The king will not suffer a foreigner to take from him the throne
How
of
dare you, sir, lay hands on your king like that?
Tell the king, Achilles, how many soldiers and horsemen follow Julius Caesar?
But 2 Roman legions, O king, 3,000 soldiers, and scarce 1,000 horsemen.
Now that's true. He did go in light. That's absolutely.
With only 4,000 guys.
Well, relatively light.
So, this is during the Republican era. So a Roman legion was roughly around 1,500 guys.
Oh god, I'm so bad on the military stuff.
The king permits the
And
Roman
even they're
army
like,
to enter.
they're like paper strength, what they wanted it to be. Like it was almost never like exactly that.
Which is the king, the man or the boy?
I am Pothinus, the guardian of my lord the king.
So you are the king. Dull work at your age. Eh? Yourself, Pothinus? And this gentleman?
Achilles, the king's general.
Ah, a general.
How dare you,
I
sir?
am a general myself, but I began too old. Health and many victories, Achilles.
As the gods will, Caesar.
And you, sir, are...
Theodotus, the king's tutor.
So, you teach men how to be kings, Theodotus. That is very clever of you. And, this place?
The council chamber of the chancellors of the king's treasury, Caesar.
That reminds me. I want some money. Chair in it.
Bring a chair there, some of you, for Caesar.
Caesar.
Oh, no, my boy. That is your chair of state. Sit down. Sit down.
Once it's been done right, you go and do it yourself.
A chair for Caesar.
Uh-oh.
Is that a pan flute? Piccolo?
I think it is.
Sit down there, Caesar.
Oh, I forgot. I had not made my companions known to you, Pothinus.
This gentleman is Rufio, my comrade in arms. This is Britanus, my secretary. He is an islander from the western end.
I tried playing those once when I was a kid. Did not end well. Could
Yeah.
not figure out how to do it.
I can't even whistle, so it's... my Piccolo days are probably not coming.
Now, Pothinus, to business. I want 16,000 talents.
Impossible. There is not so much money in the king's treasury. The royal taxes have not been collected for a whole year.
Oh, yes, they have, Pothinus. My officers have been collecting them all morning.
Is it possible that Caesar, the conqueror of the world, can find time to occupy himself with such a trifle as our taxes?
My friend, taxes are the chief business of a conqueror of the world. You must pay, Pothinus, but in return for your bounty, I will settle this dispute about the throne for you, if you will. You say the matter has been at issue for a year. May I have 10 minutes, Adam?
You will do as you please, doubtless.
Good. But first, let us have Cleopatra here.
Cleopatra, she is not in Alexandria.
I think she is. Call Tota Tita. Oh, there, Tita Tota!
They say her name differently each time.
Who
Yeah,
pronounces the name
I
of
think her name is supposed to be
the Queen's chief
Tatata Tita or something like that.
Right.
But
Tota. Except yourself. Where's your mistress? Will the Queen favor us with her presence for a moment?
Am I to behave like a queen?
Yes.
You may go, Taratita.
Awesome.
Caesar, this is how she treats me always. If I am king, why is she allowed to take everything from me?
You are not to be king, you little crybaby. You are to be eaten by the Romans.
Come here, my boy, and stand by me.
typical sibling rivalry.
Yeah.
Take your throne.
Words to live by right there.
Go this instant and sit down in your place.
Go, Ptolemy. Always take a throne when it's offered you. Now, Pothinus.
Aren't you going to speak to me?
Be quiet. Open your mouth again before I give you leave, and you shall be eaten.
I am not afraid. A queen must not be afraid. Eat my husband there if you like. He's afraid.
Your husband? What do you mean?
That little thing.
Husband, Caesar, you're a stranger here and do not know our laws. The kings and queens of Egypt may not marry except with their own royal blood. Ptolemy and Cleopatra are born king and consort.
I'm genuinely surprised they kept that in 1945.
Seriously. The incest reference?
Yeah.
Probably just because it's
Not my friend.
like a foreign culture, so they could be like, oh, look at these weird like savages.
Look at these savage Eastlanders.
Right.
Caesar there.
Orientalism, they call
and
it.
Cleopatra shall reign jointly in Egypt. Peace with honor, Pothinus?
What conceit! A Roman trick! No! We will not have it! Caesar, be honest! The money you are demanding is the price of our freedom. Take it and leave.
Says
us
a room full of
alone.
Greeks.
Protect your own
Right.
country.
Right.
Egypt belongs to us, not to you.
Egypt for the Egyptians!
Egyptians! Do you forget there's a Roman army of occupation here, left by Aulus Gabinius when he set up your toy king for you?
And now, under my command, I am the Roman general here, Caesar.
Hmm.
And also the Egyptian general, eh?
That is so, Caesar.
So you can make war on the Egyptians in the name of Rome, and on the Romans, on me if necessary, in the name of Egypt.
It is useless to try to bluff us, Rufio. Caesar has been defeated before, and he may be defeated again. What can you do
Was
with
Caesar
4,000
defeated
men?
before this? I don't remember any.
And what shall you do with
Nope.
that money? Away with you!
I mean, not that the record shows.
Back to your den.
Away with you! Out of our
Caesar,
Got kidnapped by pirates when he was a teenager.
are you
Yeah, didn't he demand like, oh,
They say it's quite true.
that's not enough money for a ransom?
Yeah.
Double it, triple it.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I'm going to have you all crucified when I get out.
That's exactly what he did.
But didn't he slit their throats first as sort of like a mercy?
He did, in fact. That's, yeah.
Achilles, if you are not a fool, you will take that girl while she is under your hand.
Why not take Caesar as well, Achilles?
Well said, Rufio. Why not?
Try it, Achilles, try it.
Yes, take Caesar and hold it.
Bad move, boys. Never tick off a Roman.
Yeah.
Peace, Egyptians. You
Caesar's guests, gentlemen.
Hey, you. Yes, you. I need you to take our quick one-question survey.
And Caesar's
I'm at 35 even.
Won't you cut their heads off?
Cut
Yep.
off your brother's head?
I'm there.
Why not? He'd cut off mine if he got the chance. Wouldn't you, Ptolemy?
Wouldn't you?
I
Oh,
will
you
too
do.
when I grow up.
Caesar, if you attempt to detain us,
You will succeed, Egyptian. Make up your mind to that. The road to Rome is open, and you shall travel it, if Caesar chooses.
I could do no less, Pothinus, to secure the retreat of my own soldiers. I am accountable for every life among them.
I am the king's guardian. I stand on my right here.
That is a good
Where
line.
your right?
It is in Rufio's scabbard, my friend. I may not be able to keep it there much longer.
And this is Roman justice.
Not Roman gratitude, I hope. Is Caesar's life of so little account to him that he forgets that we have saved it?
My life, is that all?
Your life, your laurels, your future.
I can call a witness to prove that but for us, the Roman army of occupation led by Pompey, the greatest soldier in the world, would now have Caesar at its mercy. Ho there, Lucius Septimius! Come forth and testify before Caesar.
Fairly sure Pompey's dead by this point.
No.
Yes, I
He is dead.
Yeah.
Let the military tribune bear witness. Lucius Septimius. Bear witness, Lucius Septimius. Caesar came to Egypt in pursuit of his foe. Did we shelter his foe?
As Pompey's foot touched the Egyptian shore, his head fell by the stroke of my sword.
Ah, okay.
We have given you a full and sweet measure of vengeance.
Vengeance? If I could stoop to vengeance, what would I not exact from you as the price of this murdered man's blood? Was he not my son-in-law, my ancient friend? Am I Julius Caesar, or am I a wild beast that you fling to me the grey head of the old soldier, the laurel conqueror, and then claim my gratitude for it? Oh, begone, you fill me with horror.
Ha! You have seen severed heads before, Caesar. And severed right hands, too, I think. Some thousands of them, after you vanquished the king of the Gauls. Did you spare him with all your clemency? Was that vengeance?
Would that it had been. Vengeance at least is human. No, by the gods. Those severed right hands and the brave king of the Gauls basely strangled in a vault beneath the Capitol were a wise severity, a necessary protection to the Commonwealth, a duty of statesmanship. Follies and fictions 10 times bloodier than honest vengeance. What a fool I was then. To think that men's lives should be at the mercy of such fools. Lucius Septimius, pardon me. Why should the slayer of the king of the Gauls rebuke the slayer of Pompey? You are free to go, all here in this palace.
Free? Achilles, his army? Renegades and all?
Free, Rufio. Lucius Septimius, you're free to go with the rest. Or stay if you will, and I'll find a place for you in my service.
The odds are against you, Caesar.
Wasn't Julius Caesar actually pretty pissed off at Ptolemy for killing Pompey?
Yes, I believe he had the assassins executed, though don't quote me on that.
And they were talking about King of the Gauls. That would have been, what's his name?
Vercingetorix.
Vercingetorix?
Yeah.
At Illyrica.
Indeed.
Mm.
You suppose he'd let us go if he had our heads in his hands?
Caesar, this is not good sense.
Caesar was, of course, very, very pardon-happy. He just wanted to forgive everybody. It's like, okay, fine, you're on my side now. Probably got him.
Caesar, clemency is very well for you. What is it for your soldiers who have
Yeah, but
the men you spared yesterday?
what they said earlier about like thousands of severed right hands. Caesar killed over 1 million Gauls when he conquered modern-day France.
Yes.
And he slaved over 1 million more, and that's what got the Senate pissed off at him, right?
What?
Well, he overstayed his governorship. That was the real issue. Is that you couldn't be prosecuted while you were like out being a proconsul. Like while you were in office, they couldn't prosecute you. So he just stayed in office. And like that was their main
Turn me
sticking
out
point.
of my palace?
You're welcome to stay if you wish. Go, my boy, I'll not harm you. But you'll be safer away among your friends. Here you're in the lion's mouth.
It's not the lion I fear, but the jackal.
Brave boy.
Little silly. You think that very clever.
Bitterness, attend the king. Give him in charge of that Pothinus fellow.
This piece of goods.
I like his little pet British guy who's dressed as like a monk or something.
However, I suppose I may leave that to you.
Did you mean me to go with the rest?
You're free to do just as you please, Cleopatra.
Then you don't care whether I stay or not.
Of course, I'd rather you stay.
Much rather?
Much, much rather.
And I consent to stay, because I am asked. But I do not want to, mind.
That is quite understood.
What do you think? Vivian Leigh's about 22 here?
My name is not Tita. It is Tata.
Yes, this would have been 5 years after Gone with the Wind.
Oh yeah, okay. So you're right.
Will hold state here in Alexandria.
She's probably late 20s.
Depend upon her and do all that is needful.
Am I then the mistress of the Queen's household?
No. I am mistress of the Queen's household. Go and do as you are.
Oh, poor
When I will have you thrown into the
crocodiles.
Nile this very
What did they ever do to her?
the poor crocodiles.
Oh no.
You know, I remember hearing this news story that came out of Thailand. Apparently, this cult leader was. Oh, let me hit another ad. Curse you! Pop-up ads. Ad starting now. One of those little 6-second ones.
I've got it in 3, 2, 1.
But I heard that
Ad starting now.
cheesecake's pretty easy, so
All
I
right.
decided to give
Pausing.
it a shot.
Just let me know when you are.
Got a second ad.
Got a second ad. I'm at 41.50 even.
I am exactly at 41.50. Let's do a countdown and I'll cut it.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. All right. What we were saying before the ad popped up.
The cult leader with the crocodiles.
Oh yes, the crocodile. Yes, some crazy cult leader in Thailand thought that he was immortal and invincible, and to prove the fact, he jumped into a pen full of alligators at the local zoo. Long story short, it didn't end well. I think they had to clean out what was left of him with a sponge.
I love stories like that so much.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad just because of the historical context, but there's some war during like the colonial era in Africa when they were like, no, these. I gotta remember the exact context, but it was like this sacred water will protect us from the bullets, and they like douse themselves in it and like run into battle, and it goes badly. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I also heard that during the 1800s, when America was taking over the Philippines, they had to deal with a bunch of guerrilla fighters.
Oh,
and
I believe that.
Actually, I believe your army had to adopt the M1911 handgun to deal with them, because I cannot remember or pronounce the name of these particular Filipino fighters, but they would wrap themselves up tightly in in bindings, so like it would stop the bleeding, and then they would get high off of some kind of plant, and then they would just charge in, and their sole goal would be to kill at least one U.S. Marine before they themselves were killed.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I feel like the Viet Cong are credited with like inventing asymmetric warfare, but it's existed like literally forever. It's how it's how the Americans won the Revolutionary War. It's the exact same strategy. Like, I don't need to win on the battlefield. I just need to make it too expensive for you to stay, and you'll lose.
I think your Continental Army might have something to say about that, but they're 270 years in the grave. No wait. How old is your country? Not 270 years.
Over 200. 250. 260-ish, something like that. Yeah, you're close. You're pretty close.
Get up, child. You must
260 years of you traitors living.
I had my month's bath the day before.
God save the Queen.
In future, you must have a bath every day.
Indeed, sir. God save the Queen.
You must. Your life has changed. You are still my child, but to all others who are now a grown.
Here's a fun historical note.
I am a queen.
I don't even remember what class it was in, but they showed a picture of an ancient Egyptian pillow, and it was just like a head brace. There was no cloth or like padding or anything. It was just a brace to hold your head up.
That sounds very uncomfortable.
It sounds hideously uncomfortable, but I think it was just like to keep the heat off, because it's like 110 degrees in December or whatever.
He is a magician. And magicians can change their shapes as they please. Everything about him is magical. He would not sleep in the golden chamber, but made his soldiers bring a bare stretcher from the camp and put it in his study. Even then he did not sleep in it, but sat up working like a slave all night. Yet everyone obeys him as if he were a god. I think he is a god in disguise.
Didn't Caesar claim to be descended from a god?
Venus specifically.
Before he came, I was afraid of you more than anyone
Which
else.
Augustus then used to even greater effect.
I'm not afraid of you at all.
Even though like he was actually Caesar's like grandnephew, but Caesar adopted him, so he's like, yes, I'm the son of Caesar. It's great use of propaganda there.
Adopted son.
Yeah, biological grandnephew, adopted son.
Have you scented it? No, Caesar hates perfumes. And if you redden your lips, he will not kiss you. Come on. He must indeed be a god. For only a god could be so unlike a man.
Like, we'll let her through because one, she's the queen, and she's good looking too.
Right.
But you're not the queen, and you ain't so good looking.
You Never mind. It's gonna be very mean.
Cleopatra, I really think I must eat you after all.
You mustn't talk to me now as if I were a child.
You have been growing up since the Sphinx introduced us that night. I think you know more than I do already.
No, that would be very silly of me. Of course I know that, but... Are you angry with me?
No.
Then why are you so thoughtful?
I have work to do.
What? What nonsense! You must remember you are a king now. I've made you one. Kings don't work.
But who taught you that, little kitten, eh?
My father was king of Egypt, and he never worked.
Well, he lost his throne, and how did he get it back again?
I will tell you.
Fun fact, we're almost certain that Romans did not use maps.
Came over the desert with many horses.
Really?
Yeah.
And gave my father back his throne.
Almost completely unattested historically.
Wish he would come again now that I am a queen. I would make him my husband.
It might be managed, perhaps. For it was I who sent that beautiful young man to help your father.
You know him? Has he come?
There's like 4 examples, and they're more just like expressions of power than they are like a useful practical tool or something.
Like, look at all the lands I've conquered. Sort of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. They didn't actually like use them to like navigate or whatever.
He is somewhat younger.
Would he be my husband?
Very likely.
I shouldn't like it. Could you not persuade him to ask me, without knowing that I wanted him to?
My poor child.
Why do you say that as if you were sorry for me? Does he love anyone else?
I'm afraid so.
Then I shall not be his first love.
Not quite the first. He is greatly admired by women.
Oh, I wish I could be the first. If he loves me, I will make him kill all the rest. Tell me, is he still beautiful? Do his round, strong arms shine in the sun like marble?
He is in excellent condition, considering how much he eats and drinks.
Oh, you mustn't say common earthly things about him.
He's talking about Antony, I assume?
I think he is.
Yeah.
What is his name?
Wasn't Mark Antony with Caesar in Egypt?
Yes.
Mark Antony. Mark Antony.
Mark Antony. What a beautiful name. Oh, I love you for sending him to help my father.
You must run away for a little and send my secretary to...
No. I want to stay and hear you talk about Mark Antony.
But if I don't get to work, Pothinus and the rest of them will cut us off from the harbor, and then the road to Rome will be blocked.
No matter. I don't want you to go back to Rome.
But you want Mark Antony to come from it?
Oh, yes, I forgot. Go quickly, Caesar, and keep the way over the sea open for my Mark Antony.
Bloody incorrigible, that one.
Two of my comrades killed in the marketplace.
Why?
There's an army comes to Alexandria, calling itself the Roman army.
The Roman army of occupation.
Commanded by one Achilles.
Well,
the citizens rose against us when the army entered the gates.
All right.
I cut my way out.
Good, I'm glad to see you alive. Rufio, we're besieged.
What? Already?
Caesar!
Yes, I know. Humbert, give the word to turn out on the beach and stand with the boats. Get your wound attended to. Britain, let's go with them. Rufio.
Did Romans actually salute each other like that?
We have some ships in the West Harbor.
That's a really good question. I know it's called the Roman salute. I don't know if that refers to like a later incarnation. I'm not sure.
This palace, that's the way home to Rome. For the rest, Egypt for the Egyptians.
Well, you know best, I suppose. That all?
That's all.
I'm guessing probably not.
Easy, I shall waste no time.
Caesar, Pothinus demands speech with you.
Where is he?
Waits in the council chamber. In my opinion, he needs a lesson. His manner is most insolent.
God, this guy.
Well, Pothinus?
I have brought you our ultimatum, Caesar.
Ultimatum? The door was open. You should have gone out through it before you declared war. You're my prisoner now.
Aye, your prisoner. Do you know that King Ptolemy, with an army outnumbering your little troop by 100 to 1, is in possession of Alexandria?
He's got 40,000 men.
And tell your friends not to kill any more Romans in the
That seems like a very large number for that time period.
Yeah. Unlikely.
Probably kill you.
I know the Persian king Xerxes had over, 250 to over 1 million men at Gaugamela.
Yeah, so says Herodotus. That's probably... I'd suggest that's probably a bit inflated.
What? The ship's ablaze already? Impossible. It's not my doing. The Egyptians have saved me the trouble. They've captured the West Harbor.
In the East Harbor, the lighthouse, Rufio.
Can I embark a legion in 5 minutes? The first cohort's already on the quay. If you want faster work, well, come and do it yourself.
Patience, Rufio. Patience.
Patience. Who's impatient here, you or I?
Forgive me, Rufio, and honey them as much as you can.
Help! 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 Whoa, alas!
This guy.
Whoa, alas! Help! Whoa! 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 Help! Help! Help!
Who is slain?
Slain, worst of the death of 10,000 men. Loss irreparable to mankind.
What's happened, man?
The fire has spread from your ships. The library of Alexandria is in flames.
Is that all?
Oh.
My inner author weeps at this scene.
Britannicus! Caesar, will you go down to posterity as a barbarous soldier, too ignorant to know the value of books?
Theodotus, I'm an author myself. Good.
What is burning there is the memory of mankind.
A shameful memory. Let it burn.
I don't think Caesar would have said that.
I don't think so.
I and build
No.
the future with its ruins. Hearken to me, Theodotus, teacher of kings. I cannot spare you a man nor a bucket of water just now, but you shall pass freely out of the palace. Away with your
There is an argument that he started it himself intentionally that I just don't buy at all for a number of reasons.
Will you stay to talk whilst the memory of mankind is burning? Sentry, pass Theodotus out. Away with you! Away with you!
I heard somewhere that every ship that went into Alexandria before it burned was searched for books, and then if any were found, they were confiscated and copied and then put in the library.
I believe it.
We imprison means imprisoning 2 good Roman soldiers to guard him.
We probably wouldn't have lost Plato and Aristotle for over 1,000 years if that hadn't occurred.
All ready! We wait for Caesar!
Tell him,
Thanks to Muslim scholars for keeping Plato and Aristotle for us.
Also, Irish monks were one of the people who kept literacy alive during the Dark Ages.
Yes, indeed. Well, we don't have to say that Dark Ages term. That's very debatable.
Late Iron Age, then.
Let's go with that.
Late Iron Age. So thank you, Ireland.
Yes.
My country.
What are you laughing at? You're bald!
Cleopatra.
So that's why you wear the wreath. To hide it.
Peace, Egyptian. They are the bays of the conqueror.
Peace thou, islander.
Oh.
You should not
No, if they were all speaking their native tongue, Britannians would have been speaking Welsh.
Cleopatra, do you like to be
Right, exactly.
No.
Neither do I like to be.
Contrary to popular belief, the English aren't actually native to England. The Welsh are the native peoples. All the other people that are living in England right now are descendants from the Angles, the Jutes, the Saxons.
Various invasions, really.
You look only about 50 in it.
You mustn't speak in that manner to Caesar.
When I think of Welsh, it's like almost entirely like W's and Y's.
Yeah, that's all I can think every time I think of people saying Welsh.
Right.
That and the live-action trailer for Halo Orbital Drop Shock Troopers. They sing in Welsh.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Very nice sounding language if you can actually pronounce it correctly.
Right.
Tolkien actually based his Elven languages off of Welsh.
Isn't there something like 12 native speakers left alive?
No, they still speak Welsh in Wales.
You look splendid.
But
it's not super widespread, though, right? It's like in the tens of thousands, something like that.
It's still a decent-sized number.
Okay.
Is this well set today, Britannicus?
I remember seeing this one video of a weather guy in England doing the weather in Welsh in Wales.
Awesome.
And there's one town name stupidly long.
Yeah.
Like they had like the projection of the British Isles. The name was so long it reached over to the Netherlands.
Are you afraid?
Awesome.
No.
Come to the balcony and you shall see us take the pharos.
I saw a movie, some Welsh movie about how like they don't have any mountains in their country, and they really wanted a mountain, and it just had to get above 1,000 feet, and they had a hill that was like 990 feet tall, and it was all just like these hijinks of trying to get it that last 10 feet.
I've heard of that movie. What was it called? Like the man who went up a hill and came down a mountain.
I think that's exactly what it is. Yeah. It's pretty entertaining.
This is your accursed clemency, Caesar. Theodotus has brought them. I meant him to, Rufio. They've come to put out the fire. The library will keep them busy whilst we seize the lighthouse, eh? More foxing.
Caesar!
Cleopatra, if all goes well, I shall be back this evening. Who goes there, eh? Stand! Who are you?
Centurion, I am Apollodorus, the Sicilian. My calling is to choose beautiful things for beautiful queens. Carpets.
Apollodorus was a real guy, wasn't he?
The Queen? Yes.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. It doesn't ring a bell.
People into the Queen with their goods. But mind you pass no one out that you have not passed in. Not even the Queen herself.
I have brought my caravan past 3 sentinels, all so busy staring at the lighthouse that not one of them challenged me. Is this your Roman discipline?
We're not here to watch the land, but the sea. Who's this piece of Egyptian crockery?
Apollodorus, rebuke this Roman dog, and bid him bridle his tongue in the presence of the mistress of the Queen's household.
This